we have this strong connection. It's been really nice to share life with somebody who really gets it.
Hailey has quite the story, you know. She seems to conquer anything that's put in front of her. She is a survivor. Genesis is a huge part of that.
I had been in active addiction and found out that I was pregnant with her when I totaled a car. I chose the name Genesis because she is my light in the dark, and then she was my beginning to a new life. So growing up, my parents were divorced. I was bullied for my weight a lot in middle school and high school. The first time I ever picked up a drink was at 13, and then I experienced the trauma, and from there I just started smoking and drinking to cover up that pain. I had dreams to join the Air Force, but those dreams quickly changed after getting a DUI. I stayed in active addiction for a good 7 years, and I could hold down a job for a little bit. When I would work, all my money would go to just getting that next drug or that next drink. And then eventually I got to the point where I was no longer employable. I lost a job. I had never been fired before, and that just sent me on a downhill spiral. That's when I had gotten a wreck. I look back now and I remember, just the thought of how did I walk away from that car accident? I had veered my car across the yellow lines and off the side of the road and slid. They had said it was like 150 feet, and my car stopped in front of a light pole and a tree, and I walked away from that car. At the hospital is where I found out I was pregnant. I had no clue what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was capable of being a mom or even capable of carrying her full term and her being healthy. It took me about a month to sober up and realize, what am I going to do? And then I had to find treatment, and I knew I could not have relapse. This time around, I needed it to be different. I went to Safe Harbor, and there is where I was able to have a safe place and a safe community.
For so long, we disappointed so many people and believed that we weren't worthy for so long. That's a big part of rebuilding your relationships with other people, and a big part of rebuilding your own core and your own confidence.
There's where I really started to work on myself, and I was able to start saving money to get out on my own. I was so afraid though, like the fear, it really had a hold on me, and I just didn't know if I could do it. The hardest thing, I think, was knowing that I was going to be a mom and not knowing how I was going to provide. Homeownership was always a goal for me, and I never thought that I could achieve that goal. Achieving the dream of owning a home just seemed so impossible. So I felt like living in apartments was going to be our story for the rest of our life. We had only been there a couple months, and there was already a drive-by shooting. I just haven't ever felt safe there. My daughter, she won't even sleep in her bedroom because she's always hearing stuff above us. There's always something going on outside late at night, all hours. I just want her to be able to feel safe in her own home. And so that's why I applied to Habitat. I came to Habitat because I knew that there was no other way for me to achieve homeownership. My dad was the first person. He had encouraged me to apply, and I was like, no, that's not me. Credit's not good. I had some things that I needed to work on, and I wasn't even willing to apply at that point. And then once I did get out on my own and was able to work and realized I could pay bills and do all the adult things, my friend Melissa had applied, and she had encouraged me to apply.
There was a lot of conversations in the beginning, telling her about the website, telling her to reach out to Andrew, telling her she could do it, because, that was her, I don't know if I want to do this. I'm like, why not? You could have Genesis a house for the rest of her life. Once Hailey convinced herself, it was easy going.
I applied, I did all the paperwork, turned everything in, and then Habitat kept sending out letters every month, and I would run to the mailbox like every week waiting on that next letter. I remember just being so nervous but so excited, and wanting to know, and being unsure, like, is this gonna be us? And I remember the day that Andrew called, my phone rang in the car, and I didn't even tell my daughter who was calling, and it was like she knew. I picked up the phone, and it wasn't on speakerphone. She couldn't hear him. And I remember him telling me that we had been accepted into the program, and she was like in the back seat in her car seat, and she was like, we got the house, we got the house. It was just so amazing because she had no clue who was on the other side of that phone.
She was just super excited. I think more grateful. I mean, it was probably just tears of joy.
She was just blown away.
She was in it, and she made a commitment to see it through.
When I think about my Habitat journey, I think about the beginning and how much, that meant to me, just getting that phone call. I'd shared with somebody the other day, I will literally do whatever it takes. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this happen.
Hailey's worked really hard to get where she's at. We didn't exactly take the right path for a long time, and we found ourselves in a lot of unstable and unsavory places. But she's really done the work to pull herself out of that and to create a new life for her in Genesis. She's really put in the work, and it makes me really happy that she gets a house as a reward.
It's just a new beginning, a new start for them.
She gets to build her home with Genesis. She gets to have memories now.
Owning my own home will change things for my daughter and I, because we'll have something that's always ours, a safe place to always come home to, after work and after school, and just being able to make those memories in our own home.
I really can't explain the feeling of handing somebody a key. It heals the soul, I think, to be able to turn around and hand that to somebody else is a really good feeling.
I could describe it. It's tears of joy because I've watched her. She's just becoming more confident in herself.
I just think of, where we were at just a few short years ago, living in a residential program with our kids, trying to get sober, and we were living there with 40 other women and children. And to think now that, we're buying or owning our own homes, it's only by God's grace. I mean, it truly is. It's only possible through Him.
Being a homeowner in itself is going to show Genesis what it looks like to be a woman who can show up for her child, who can show up for her family. And I think that that's going to make a huge difference in the way Genesis looks at her mom.
Yeah, she's definitely taught me, everything I am is because of her. She just will light up a room, and she's just, she's truly everything that I wanted to be as a little girl, and I think it's just so amazing to watch that.
Hailey and I have a unique bond. I sometimes call her my miracle child. She wants to be intentional about how she raises Jen, but I can't describe it, how she is a great mother.
I feel proud and happy, but I also know that it wouldn't be possible without all the people who have helped me get to where I'm at today. So I'm just really grateful.
I pray that they will continue to seek Christ for His will, for His, trust His will for whatever path He has in front of them, but to build loads of memories in their new home.
They deserve all of it. They're just great. Hailey's just a great person. I've been really lucky to have her in my life, and Jen is just a joy. We just love both of them.
She's going to be a blessing to others, because she certainly has been a blessing to me.
The biggest thing that I want to achieve through Habitat is actually paying off this house and being able to know that I have something to leave behind to my daughter, and something that'll forever be hers.